What we saw this morning was a reminder that this process has been a sham from the start. Today has been another sad day for justice in Russia. I use that term justice very loosely, of course, because justice has eluded this case from the start. The rule of law has eluded this case from the start. Increasingly, the rule of law is absent in Russia writ large. That's why we made the determination a number of months ago that Brittney Griner is wrongfully held, just as is Paul Whelan, another American citizen who's been held in Russia for far too long.
There's a State Department spokesperson, Ned Price, voicing his disgust for what's going on in Russia as they continued to effort ways of freeing Brittney Griner, and also, as they point out, Paul Whelan as well, who's been held there for an extended period of time. Griner is being held on this marijuana possession with those vape pens that they said they found in her baggage. Here's some details of what they did as far as this appeal in trying to get her out of there. The Moscow Region Court ruled on Tuesday to uphold the sentence that they had from the beginning. In the ruling, the court stated, however, that the time Griner will have to serve in prison will be recalculated with her time in pre-trial detention taken into account. Sounds like we could maybe get a nice reduction here, right? 1 day in pretrial detention would be counted as 1.5 days in prison. So the basketball star will have to serve around 8 years instead of the 9 that they sentenced her to. She's already been in there. The 9-year sentence was close to the maximum of the 10 years that was possible. And Griner's lawyers argued that after the conviction, that the punishment was excessive. They said in similar cases, defendants have received an average sentence of about 5 years, with about a third of them granted parole. She didn't get any of that. Now, we're talking about how they're working towards a solution. This is what they tried. Reflecting growing pressure on the Biden administration to do more to bring Griner home, US Secretary of State Anthony Blinken took the unusual step of revealing publicly in July that Washington had made a substantial proposal to get her home, along with Paul Whelan, an American serving his own 16-year sentence in Russia for espionage. And the White House said it has not yet received a productive response from Russia to the offer. So Ned Price there, who was talking off the top, had more to say about this back and forth that's just not working out. Let's see what he has to say.
We continue to engage with the Russians. Those conversations have taken place even in recent days. This has not been a static process. We are continuing to urge them to engage and to engage seriously on this, because we want to see Paul, we want to see Brittney return to their loving families as soon as possible. Well, the fact that Paul Whelan and Brittney Griner still sit behind bars in Russia suggests to us that this process has not moved as quickly as we would like, as quickly as it would need to. We are not going to be satisfied until Paul and Brittney are home with their families. Up until now, the Russians haven't engaged in a way that we would consider serious. We want them to change that posture. We want them to engage constructively. We want them to engage on the proposal that we put forward.
Now, I'm no international negotiator, so I don't know exactly the best route as far as this goes, but I think what they're trying to point out from the State Department is with Ned Price is we're really trying. I don't know what else is the next steps for doing something like this, but as you see those hashtag free Brittney or bring her home hashtags and posts, I think the pressure at least is on. That's the best of many citizens who have to go from their day-to-day lives have to do, but I don't know the next steps or how this can be concluded without it being the worst situation, Jackson.
Yeah, and the sad reality is that, we know she's a political prisoner, but there's not really a plan behind what to do with her. Russia just has her, and she may be of useful collateral for something at whatever decision is made at some point. But because of that, unfortunately, she'll likely remain a prisoner for a while. Because Russia's not in a good position, especially just with their reputation and standing with the world right now.
Everything that's happened right now with them, and that's what I was thinking. It's kind of the worst time for this to happen. The fact that she had to be there playing basketball, probably supplement income because she also plays in the WNBA, is just the first part of this whole problem. So that's definitely going to turn off any other athletes from going overseas and playing there. So I wonder if they've played that right. By the way, one more piece here, because I never knew this from the beginning. Just a few of these things, because when she first got arrested, there was things that happened as far as her translation from papers that they told her, here, sign this, sign this, sign that. Wasn't given a good enough representation. Didn't know the process. So as she was signing things, I don't think she knew, or at least she pointed out, she didn't know the degree of what trouble that they were enveloping her in. And now it's gotten to the point that I don't know if those documents that were signed, those things that who they called her representation were actually helping her. But the translations were rough. She wasn't sure what was happening. And next thing she knows, she realized, wait a second, I think they're trying to keep me here. And then that's when she called representation and agents and family and friends and tried to find a way out of this. But as she still sits there, I think they're transferring her to some other location now that they've turned down her appeal. Hopefully there's more, and also maybe they accept one of these agreements or something that apparently Washington is trying to push. We'll keep going with it. I mean, I don't know what else we as regular citizens can do right now, but it sucks. I think about this stuff and it's nightmare material.